delicious mussels. And that is what we're cooking today. And you are gonna love it. Let's cook. Mussels are delicious, nutritious, inexpensive, and very easy to make. And they should be part of your monthly roster to give your family some variety. Remember that cooking is always about ingredients, time, and temperature. And like with all seafood, freshness is key. Mussels cannot be frozen because they need to be alive when you cook them. If you have a fish market that you trust, great. If you don't, they're usually sold year-round in most supermarkets. It seems like Costco sponsors most of my programs, but they don't. But I usually buy them there when I'm in Atlanta. They have a huge bag like this for about 14 bucks. Here at the beach, I go to a seafood place. Mussels should smell like the ocean. Nothing more, nothing less. We're cooking these mussels in a spicy tomato broth. Therefore, tomato is the other key ingredient. In this case, we're choosing to use San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. They come from the region around Mount Vesuvius in Napoli. They are so revered in that area of Italy that to make true Neapolitan pizza, you are required by law to use San Marzano tomatoes. How about that? Once you learn this recipe, you can use this over pasta. You can use it in different ways. Today, we chose to toast some bread and just dip into that delicious goodness. I can't wait. Let's cook. I have done most of them here, as you can see, but I left a few just to show you what it looks like. See that? This is known as the beard. So you just kind of grab it and wiggle like that, it comes right off. Mussels are alive and they have to remain alive all the way up to the time of cooking. So if you see one that's open like this, all you need to do, squeeze the shell. If they don't close themselves up, they're dead. As always, we're gonna get organized. The French call this mise en place. And all mise en place is having all the tools and ingredients that you need right in front of you. You are gonna need a deep pan with a lid. Remember, we're gonna steam those mussels. You will also need a toaster or the broiler in your oven so we can toast the bread. Let me give you a tip on wine. If your recipe calls for using wine of any kind, white or red, use the same one you're gonna drink with it if you're drinking with it. If not, just buy regular drinking wine and use that as opposed to cooking wine. That tip alone will elevate your cooking to a different level. Remember, mise en place is less stress. Look, the recipe calls for 1 onion, right? This is 1 onion. This is an onion. So you need to use your judgment if the recipe doesn't call for a medium-sized onion or a small onion. Do you see this ratio? We don't want onion sauce, we want tomato sauce. This ratio looks better to me, so I'm going with this one. You cut in half, look for the core, keep the core, so you can cut, protect your fingers. And you don't need to go fast, you don't need to impress anybody. Just make sure you protect your fingers as you go. Remember the importance of having a good knife. Your tools are just as important as your ingredients. And we're good. We're doing the same with the garlic. We want to mince it into small pieces. We don't want huge chunks of garlic, even though it will be cooked. And we're good. This is the whole can of tomato right here. See if you can see here. A real San Marzano tomato will be always whole. We're gonna crush them like that before we put them in the sauce. Wine, half a cup. Half a lemon. See the lemon. We're using sambal, which is an Asian red chili paste. Smells delicious. Kind of smells like tomatoes. So I think it's gonna be great with this. We're gonna use 1 tablespoon. kosher salt, and freshly ground pepper. Remember, there's a link in the description for this one. It's so useful. I'm gonna use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna leave it in here and just pour it straight into the pan. And of course, if you need parsley, you have to use fresh. It makes all the difference. You're gonna need about 3 tablespoons, 2 for the sauce, and 1 for garnish. You also wanna get rid of all the long or thick stems. We want some coarseness to it, makes it more rustic, but you don't want the huge leaves either. Remember to clean as you go. You don't want to fight with your spouse. For the bread, we're using a French baguette from Publix. I'm gonna cut this on a bias to make them nice and long like that. These 4 are for me and Joanna. This is for Sebastian.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or I should say Joanna and I. Sebastian, don't learn English from me. Okay, we're ready. Let's cook. We're gonna turn on the heat to medium low. 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. If you have seen any of my shows, you know about the conga line. These are all the ingredients we're using in the order they go in the pan. Onion, garlic, sambal, wine, and everything else. Use this idea. It's so practical. So we're cooking the onions for about 3 minutes, maybe 4. You want to soften them. We don't add the garlic together with the onion because the garlic browns faster. And if garlic browns, it tastes bitter. In with the garlic. Garlic, onion, celery, those type of things are used for the aroma. They're called aromatics. You could smell already how awesome this is gonna taste. Next on the conga line, the spicy stuff, sambal. And now the wine. We're gonna cook the alcohol away from the wine. It's gonna take about a minute, maybe less. You can raise the heat again. You can smell the wine. You can actually smell the sambal. Not just spicy, but it's an interesting aroma. Next on the conga line, parsley. And in go the tomatoes. Remember to squeeze them. And lower that again. Okay. Oops. Watch out. There's a lot of juice inside these things. You know the Napolitan pizza sauce? All they do is just crush the tomatoes like this and they don't cook them. This, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and that's it. And now add all the juices. Crush the ones that are still kind of whole. And you can turn this into a terrific pasta dish. After you cook the mussels, you put them over spaghetti. Regular table salt typically has iodine, and that gives it an off flavor. Kosher salt is probably the best. Some pepper. We can adjust for both salt and pepper later. Remember, ingredients, time, and temperature. We have awesome ingredients already. Our temperature is medium low, and our time is 5 to 8 minutes. I use a timer. And if I need to adjust it, I will. How do you know when the sauce is done? You're looking for a certain consistency. You want it to be a little bit thick, but not chunky. You're looking for a taste. You want all these flavors to kind of blend together. You'll taste it after 5 to 8 minutes and correct full salt. And when this is done, we're gonna add the mussels right over the sauce. Put the lid on the pan so they can steam open. This thing is simmering beautifully. It's been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna taste it. It's coming out good. It's nice and spicy, but it needs more salt. If you don't like spicy food, you can always use less, and you can skip it altogether if you want. These are Prince Edward's mussels. They're from Canada, and that area is known for their mussels. This is about 3 pounds, and you have to take into account that each pound will yield about a 1/4 of a cup of mussel juice. So that is gonna thin out this broth, and it will also counteract the spiciness. We're gonna put all of this in and just close the lid. Raise the heat a little bit. You can see that steam already working in there. And in 3 to 5 minutes, they will open up, and that means they're ready. You can move the pan, but do not open the lid. Can you get close in here and see? We can take a peek. They're pretty open. Turn the heat off. Can you see how the consistency of the broth changed? Make sure they are all incorporated with the broth. I'll do a little bit of salt on top of the mussels. We're gonna squeeze the juice of half a lemon right on top of it. We're just looking for the acidity of the lemon. Here we go. You can serve up to a pound of mussel per person. We got 3 people here. So this is 3 pounds. One final taste of the broth. Salt. So we are ready for my favorite part, the taste test. One final touch. Little bit of extra virgin olive oil and parsley for garnish. My friend Joseph Juncosa reminded me that people from places that have a lot of mussels take one out and then use the empty shell as a utensil to take the other ones out. So this is it. Wow. You can literally taste the sea with these mussels. So fresh, so delicious. Let me just drink this. Oh, such a good taste. Wow, delicious. I'm gonna dunk and see if I can open up a space here to dunk this on this delicious broth. This is so good. Just gonna use 1 scoop. Man, it is tomatoey, it is spicy, it is garlicky, but not too much. You know what I mean? It's not overpowering. It just blends so well with the taste of the mussels, the taste of the sea. Joanna, you need to come and taste this. You need to come.
My mouth was watering.
You want another spoon for this? We're gonna eat this whole thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right? So
I'm gonna dig in. This is how I like doing it. I open
my God,
a little baby mussel, and then I have juice in there. That's how I like it.
the baby mussel.
So good.
This is delicious. So I'm gonna put some juice on this one here.
Oh my gosh, man. One of your best.
Oh, I'm gonna put some
Amazing. And I'm gonna try the broth. This is Sebastian's favorite. Oh my gosh.
People,
It's amazing.
Forgive me that
So good.
you always see me eating with my hands, but
And I love this. I love the broth.
oh my goodness,
Just by itself.
it's so good.
Sebastian, you want to try?
Sebastian, you need to try this. Here I go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
Very good.
This is the same wine we cooked with. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
Delicious.
perfection.
I don't think Lola likes seafood, but she was already having it. Just bring her so I can. With this cutie here, let me tell you 4 things. Subscribe, hit like, share with your friends, and cook it. We want you to cook it. We want you to try it. You saw how simple this is. This is a great recipe to get out from the average. Your family's gonna love it. I promise it. Join us next week because we're making the most incredible chicken steaks. Just a hint, they're not breast meat. Oh, they're gonna be so delicious. You're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Come join us.